Oh, what's up, y'all? Back again. I know it's been about 4 or 5 days since I done dropped in on y'all last, but we back and we chatting. Past couple of days, I ain't really had it in me to speak about anything directly. Have some things I've been working through, and today and yesterday, my spirit was a little irritated, so I just went and worked out, and I knew I had to jump on here today, specifically because I didn't feel like it. So I knew I had to push myself out of that moment and come and speak to y'all. So today I'm going to be speaking about fear, and sort of my definition of fear, and sort of how I relate fear to one of my core principles, which is adaptability. There are some 4 pillars that I specifically live by, and I'll get into those in a later video. But adaptability is a major pillar in my life, and it's how I keep myself on the righteous path to my highest self. So I'll segue this in by speaking about myself and how, what even got me on the topic of fear is not only today but yesterday. I feel like over the past 6-7 weeks I'm coming out of a chaotic period, and just because the period is chaotic, that doesn't mean you have to be chaotic, or we have to be chaotic, or I have to be chaotic. So the chaos wasn't in me, it was in my environment. So I had to work really, really hard to keep my spirit clean and unfilthy. Y'all hear me say this a lot, that earth is dirty, and that's what I mean. I just mean that sometimes when you go out in the world, and you have to be around people for a consistent period of time, you know, things can get murky, and the energy that I was in the environment that I was in on a day-to-day basis for, 4 or 5 hours a day was really heavy. It was really chaotic, and it didn't matter what I did to be a beacon of light or hope. It just it stayed, just dark and negative, and it was really hard to exist in that space and be around that every day and keep your own spirit clean. But I think what I'm going through now is that period is over, and sometimes when you have to exist in a chaotic space, you become chaotic, even if it's just by a little bit. So I think for me, transitioning out of that time period and moving into a more peaceful time period, I got residual chaos in me that needs to come out. I need to detoxify myself of that negative energy. Because I was in it, now it's on me, and it was in me. And I, every now and you gotta get dirty when you in there, with chaotic people. You gotta really embody your darkest self, because they have to know that you're not to be fucking played with. So you have to embody that dark spirit that's inside of you so that you can wield it for your highest good, as I said in the previous video. And I think now, because I'm trying to work myself out of it, I got some stank on me. Let me tell y'all what fear to me is. Fear is when you recognize that in yourself there's something that you must change about you. True fear is holding on to your old self so tightly that you can't evolve enough to apologize, because to apologize means that you were wrong, and to say you were wrong means that you can't be the old you that you were anymore, because the person who you apologize to, now you have to change your behavior immediately. They have to immediately see a change in you in order for your apology to be real. And because you respect them, that means you got to respect yourself and the person who you becoming. So you have to change. And I think fear is when you run away from change, when you become unadaptable, which is a pillar. One of my 4 pillars. Remaining adaptable is of the utmost importance. So not only is it in one of my top 4 pillars for mental stability, but it's like in my top 2 for the things that I have to do in this world to always be, remain me. To remain attached to the me that I'm going to be one day. That I am now, but I'm really going to be him one day. But what I mean is fear is because you can't control the future because you can't see it. You just hold on tightly to this concept of yourself. So over time, you end up having old habits and old mentalities and old perspectives because you're basing your identity off the way things were, the way shit used to be. And I'm bringing up fear today because I really want y'all, I'm using my own personal story to let you know that you cannot be afraid to change, because that's what fear is being afraid to change. Emotions are fickle and they're temporary. So not only are they half believable, but they don't last very long. So they're not really reliable. So when I think of fear, I think of fake emotions appearing real. Because in the moment it feels like you're right about whatever it is that you feel. And then as time wears on, you realize, man, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking about that day. I was tripping. Because I feel like that right now about the way I felt even 2 hours ago. So that, my whole point is apologizing to people who you affect through your own shortcomings in character or in moments. Because we all got really dark, ugly parts of ourselves that, comes out at very inopportune times, and it affects people. So don't be afraid to apologize, because being afraid to apologize is letting the fear control you. So fear is a tactic that not only your enemy will use against you, but it's also what you use against your higher self, because you don't want to do the work that it takes to become him or her. So you hold on to the old you and say, no, I don't do that, or I don't do this, or I'm this type of person, or I'm that type of person. When in reality, like, the real you that you're trying to get to, that person would definitely be doing that kind of shit. So in essence, you fucking tripping, bro. You tripping. You scared. You scared of yourself. You're scared of your fucking self. So, although it does feel not good to know that the ugliest parts of you that rear its head sometimes affect the people close to you, it sucks to hear that, but hey, you gotta man up or woman up and you gotta fucking apologize. Like, yo, my bad, I'm in an ugly space right now. I'm shaking some shit off and something accidentally got on you. My bad. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I'm gonna go in the other room for a minute. I'm gonna get missing for a couple days. Take you out to eat or something. Get you some sweet potato fries. With your favorite sauce on them. You're gonna have to buy some desserts, send some DoorDash gift cards to some people if you need to. But you really gotta do your best to work through that. Because not apologizing is some bullshit. You the only person who's gonna pay for that. You the only person that's gonna pay for that. So you gotta apologize. You gotta make amends. You have to convey this message to this person who is in your environment, and they have to know that you are genuinely sorry for that and you're gonna change. You gotta figure out how to communicate that in a way where they understand that's exactly what you mean. It ain't no hints, it ain't no drawbacks. It's a flat out apology. You got to cleanse your heart immediately. You gotta keep this spirit clean, man. It's your vessel. Get that ugly out of you immediately and apologize so you don't never have to think about it again. Fear is being afraid of apologizing. I'm gonna boil it down to just that. Just simply that. I can say that one of my theoreticals for fear is being afraid to apologize. I will boil it down to just that single statement. Because in order for you to be afraid of something would be you not apologizing to yourself for not feeling worthy of that moment, whatever it is. So if I'm afraid of breaking up with this person, or if I'm afraid of leaving this job, or if I'm afraid of being in front of this camera, I'm admitting that I'm not worthy of what I desire. And you would need to apologize to your fucking self in order to get through that. And that would force you to admit to yourself that you was on some bullshit at one time for a small period of time. And you need to apologize for yourself, to yourself for that shit. I'm going to boil down fear down to that. It's you not apologizing to you for not feeling like you was worthy enough to take the next step forward. Because that's all fear is asking you. Well, that's all you're asking you to do is just take the next step forward. And being afraid is not doing that. No matter what that step is, or where it is, or how it is, or when it is, or why it is. Like, that's what fear is being fearful of taking one single step forward and not knowing where the fuck it's going to take you. Control. You want to control your future. You want to control your future. You want to tell you where you're going and what you're doing. When you really, you have an idea of where you're going, but you have no clue on how you're going to get there. So you got to keep that heart compass clean, because it's going to guide you and shine that light on where you're supposed to move next. And if your heart is filled with that bullshit, you ain't gonna make it, champ. So you got to learn to apologize, because it's not always them, sometimes it's you. You got to apologize. Apologize to them or apologize to yourself, because you owe somebody an apology for sure. Stop being afraid to apologize. That's what fear is. Fake emotions appearing real. That ain't that bad. That ain't that bad. I punished myself by going to work out. Pretty tough workout. And I needed that. I needed to remind myself, and I needed my spirit to remind my mind and my body that that's my guiding light, and I should never be my mind or my body should never be in control. I do have to be guided by my spirit. My mind was guiding me. Your mind is also a tool that is to be used for your highest good. So yeah, that's what I mean. Being afraid to apologize to those you have affected internally and externally. Like emotions appearing real. That's the message for today, y'all. Just don't be a little bitch when they come to you. The real you, the future you. The you can only become by apologizing to yourself when necessary. Whew. I didn't know where the hell I was going at the beginning of this video. I mean to tell you. I just pushed play. I knew I'd start record. I knew I had to get on here with y'all today. So that's my ugly. I got a couple apologies going out, and I'm gonna do my best to keep this vessel clean. And it take a lot. It take a lot of reflection and breakdowns and honest talks with yourself in the mirror to remind yourself that you ain't perfect either. And if you can't ask them to work on them if you ain't working on you. And that's what we here for. That's what we are on this channel a couple times a week for, is to make sure that the only person we talk to is a person in the mirror. We are always in control by submission. So I'll see y'all in a few days. My goal is to come back tomorrow again. I'm gonna try my best to come back tomorrow. Let me stop talking about some damn try. I'll be back here tomorrow. I'm gonna give y'all at least 10 minutes tomorrow. I need to do that. It's gotta be focused. I gotta be consistent. So I'll be back tomorrow. That's a promise. See y'all.